Welcome to Bourbon School. I'm Marianne.
And I'm Brian, and today, need we say more?
Da, 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 da.
Our report card's coming right up.
Okay, Brian. So today we are obviously going to give our report card review of George T. Stagg. And I just wanted to go over how we came upon this beauty. This was something that Brian really wanted.
I was coveting.
And, through the allocation season, some people had it on raffles. Some people were selling it for crazy amounts of money. And I just didn't see how we were going to make this happen. So I reached out to Herman and Kathy. Herman is from Midnight Liquor and Kathy is from Sheridan Liquor and Wine. And tried my best to see if one of them could perchance come upon a bottle for me. They actually both did.
Yep.
But Herman came in like 2 days before Kathy and said, I've got you, come up. I'll take care of it for you. And he gave it to me, sold it to me for a great price. Herman really did a solid, took care of us really well. And so we're really grateful to Herman at Midnight Liquors. Thank you so much. And I was able to surprise Brian with this under the tree for Christmas.
Yes. And I was very happy.
He was.
Okay. So when you get your George T. Stagg, if you've had one before, you know
Look at
this.
this stingy pour he did. God.
This is for enjoy. Like, we're doing just a review today. We just need a few sips.
I understand.
We have to.
I know.
Sip it judiciously.
I know.
So you get a nice letter from Buffalotrace, and it simply just says, congratulations on buying your whiskey. They then, the letter is kind of, it's not really informational. It's just kind of fluff. But then on the back, they give you all the facts about this. Crazy amount of facts. So I won't read them all, but I will just give you some facts about this. What I did not realize about George T. Stagg is how old it is. So this was distilled in the fall of 2008 through the spring of 2009. This is a 15-year-old and 2-month.
It is almost
whiskey.
As old as our daughter.
It is older than our son.
Yes.
So
yes, crazy.
Yeah. All right, it's 136.1 proof. And then they give you the mash bill, it's Kentucky corn, distillers grade 1-2, plump rye, distillers malted barley. They give you all kinds of facts about the cooking and fermentation, and then the aging. When it comes off the still, it's 140 proof.
Wow.
It goes into barrels from the Cumberland Cooperage. Its entry proof is 125. It's crazy. It goes on the lower floors of the Rick warehouse. And it loses 61%. So there's only 39% of the whiskey left, which accounts for the rarity. Although
yes.
My understanding, actually, Brian Fisher said this, and I think it's kind of bared out. We've seen more of this than any other
for
BTACs.
Sure. Yes.
I think it's more common than it has been in the past.
There were a lot this allocation season. While they were still difficult to obtain, there were more this season to find.
Right. It's difficult to obtain because everybody wants it.
Correct.
But I think it was more plentiful,
yes.
like you said. Yeah. So we won't get into the notes. They do give you some notes about the tasting notes, the aroma, and all that. But we'll just get into it. Now, we have gotten into this already.
Just once.
It's down to about here, honestly.
We celebrated the New Year.
We did, and I didn't even finish my pour.
Brian.
I know.
What the hell?
It was the end of the night, and it was
It was late.
I was having heartburn, and it just wasn't the time to be drinking any bourbon.
But we did cheers the New Year with the George T. Stagg.
Okay. So.
Look at me.
Yeah, we're not drinking it yet, though.
Okay, I smelled it 3 times already.
So here's what I'll tell you about this.
It's very burny.
That's the thing I'm not getting. For as high a proof as this is, 136.1.
Oh, it's like singeing my nose hairs. It is
I'm
burny.
not getting any burn off of this at all.
Okay.
And my nose is right in there.
Yeah, but
what I am getting is a lot of caramel and vanilla.
Oh, for sure.
And some oak spice. There might be a little burn behind everything, but I guess we've had some where the first thing you get is boom, right up your nose. You get the burn, and you do not get that. You can definitely tell it's potent,
yes.
But I don't get that primarily. I'm getting a lot of caramel.
Caramel, vanilla is a very sweet smell. Yeah, for sure. And from what I remember, it is also a very complex bourbon. Like it has layers to it when you're tasting it. I know you're right. We did drink it later in the evening, which might have been our mistake. But it was delicious when we had it. But I'm looking forward to trying it.
All right, let's get
again.
into it.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Wow, Brian, there's tons of vanilla in the smell, right? I smell a lot of vanilla.
Oh. Drinks, it does burn. You definitely get a burn. For me, it is cherry and vanilla all day. Like a ton of, like cherry vanilla ice cream. And I never get something like that. Like I either get caramel or vanilla or I get cherry notes on something. This one is like cherry vanilla ice cream.
Do you know how you often say you're getting that cupcake buttercream? That's what I'm getting here. A very delicious buttercream.
The other thing that I love is
it's still hot.
It's hot.
I will tell you, Brian, excuse me, do you notice recently I've been telling you very often, nothing's burning me, nothing is giving me that Kentucky hug. Like I've said it a lot recently.
Yeah.
A lot of people, we have this private chat group where people say this drink's hot. I have not been finding that anything has been drinking hot for me recently, but this I got the hug. And it's really nice.
I think you definitely get the hug going like in the back of your throat.
It's in the back of my throat, yep.
Your chest. But I'll tell you right now, this, like, we have had some higher proof bourbons, like the regular Stagg, like the old Stagg Junior and that Smoke Eye Hill that are up in the 130s that like totally blow out your tongue, blow out your palate.
This is not doing that.
This like is so
it's
nice.
Yes.
On your palate. Like it's
I would
definitely,
like to say a subtle burn.
Yeah, and I think the heat's back here. Like I don't get a lot of heat on my tongue. Like you get to experience all of the flavors because it's not blowing out your tongue with heat.
It's like the perfect, if you find the perfect hot sauce to put on something that you like to eat that just gives it a little bit of spiciness but doesn't ruin the flavor of the food you're eating. I think actually that's a really great way to describe that. It's got a nice burn, but it is not taking away from the flavor of the bourbon.
No. Cherry, vanilla, oak.
Yep.
And a
caramel,
little bit.
I'm getting caramel in there for sure.
And a little bit of spice, like not necessarily nutmeg, like maybe like they mentioned cinnamon. It might be cinnamon.
No.
Like, but it's not that warm cinnamon. It's like that spicy, like the earthy cinnamon.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm getting off it.
I'm
it's
getting
not
more of a
spice.
clove kind of.
Yeah, clove.
Yeah, like a baking spice. I'm getting those baking spices.
So somebody asked.
It's so good.
Eric Ellis asked in our Facebook group because I posted something about the George T. Stagg.
This is really burning.
Oh, you know what it was? We were tasting the Russell's 15 last night.
Yes.
And I posted we were having the Russell's 15, and he's like, "How does it compare to the Stagg?" And I said, "It's not even close."
No.
The Russell's 15 is delicious, and actually, that was the second time I've had it. The first time you've had it, it's good.
I liked it better than you did.
Yeah, I get why people would put it on their Bourbon of the Year list. This is a totally different experience. Like this is not the same thing.
No.
This is elevated, like up here,
For sure.
in my opinion.
I agree, and the Russell's 15 finished very bitter.
This is much more refined.
Yeah, this is not ending anything but sweet and beautiful. I will tell you, Brian, I'm still burning.
Oh, and the flavor.
The flavor is still
finish
there.
is forever.
Yeah, I mean, you do that closed mouth, breathe out through your nose thing, and you can still taste. It's lingering. It's a long. Ooh, ready? It's a long, slow linger.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, but it's. I think it is a complete. Like it is a well-rounded out. Complete
I wrote that in the group.
profile.
I said you go through layers with this.
Yes, absolutely.
It starts one way, it goes middle of the road, towards the middle, and then at the end it finishes differently.
So this says on the nose, deep aged wood, rich oak, and dark cherry. I definitely got.
You nailed it.
I didn't really.
You
I got
said
the
cherry, oak.
cherry on the palate. This is the nose.
Oh.
So I got the age, like you could definitely tell this is well aged, right? It's 15 years old. I didn't get a lot of cherry in the nose. The nose primarily was the caramel and like that sweetness.
Okay.
Palate, it says bold spice, assertive oak, creamy caramel, and a delicate touch of cinnamon.
So we both
I think
together
so.
we got it.
It doesn't have the cherry in there, and like I'm saying, like these sips today have been like cherry vanilla ice cream. Like not creamy like that, but the flavor.
The flavor. Yeah.
Finish long and drying, yes. Defined by strong oaky notes that linger pleasantly on the tongue. And yes, long.
It's still there.
It's a long,
it's
this
still
is
there.
still
This is a ride
on my palate.
Yeah, it's taking a long time to subside. It's a beautiful bourbon. It's a well-rounded, complex, layered bourbon.
Yeah.
It's well worth the price that I paid for it.
Yes.
And it was well worth the hunt.
This is the first bourbon that's over $100 that I've tried that I've been like, I would pay that for it.
Yes.
There might be one or two in the past that I've said that on, but I can confidently say like 150, 160, probably. And I always, like when I started looking for a Stagg, I said I would pay up to 200.
Right.
Like 199 would kind of be my limit.
Right.
I would still go 199 for this. You can tell why BTAC bottles are like sought after. It is a much more refined, rounded out, delicious ride.
They know
like
what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, give it a grade.
A.
Yeah.
I'm not giving it an A+. Okay.
Yes, you gave the Penelope Marshmallow Toast an A+.
And that was friggin' delicious. And it's so good. I honestly, I like the Penelope better than this. Please, I understand what I'm saying here.
Yes.
My taste buds, my personal opinion, I like Penelope Marshmallow Toasted better than the George T. Stagg, but this is still a delicious bourbon.
So I'm going to go A+. I think this is my first A+ I've ever given. I think it is such a level above anything we've had that I think it deserves an A+, because not only is it, you can tell it's just a better, more refined bourbon, but it's also delicious. It is a complete package. So I'm giving it an A+. I think it's a great bourbon, and I wish I had a backup.
Well, I did the best I could, man.
All right. Well, let us know what you think of the 2024 edition of George T. Stagg. We love it. It's, if you can find it at a reasonable price, like, please do not go out there and support the secondary market paying $800, $900, $1,000.
Don't do it.
Do
Just
not
don't
do that. Because all
No.
you're doing is encouraging somebody to keep doing that. But if you can find it at a decent price, maybe $200. I know somebody we know paid $250 for it, and I was like, all right, well, and that was their third bottle.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's worth a reasonable markup, especially if you're going to a small local shop that you want to support. But I know of large chains around our area that are charging $1,000 or more for this, and that is absolutely freaking ridiculous.
No.
Don't support that.
And we certainly won't.
A couple $100, it's definitely worth your buy. So let us know in the comments what you think of it if you had a chance to get it. And thanks for watching.
If you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell for notifications.
So you never miss another episode of Bourbon School.
Cheers, I'm out.
You're out? Oh, let's cheers anyway, because I have some left.
God, I was tasting the whole time. It was so good.